One mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yeah, man. Friday here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate you guys joining me. Wrapping up the week here. I'm live right now on Spreaker.com, also on the Spreaker app. The TuneIn app as well as my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You can check me out, streaming live video right now on Facebook. The Facebook page is at the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE. That's the same handle that you can follow me at on Twitter and Instagram. If you'd like to be a part of the show and let your thoughts be known, get in on some of these conversations today, text me at 404-902-8104. You can also leave your comments and questions and criticisms below the live streaming video here on Facebook, or jump inside my live and interactive chat room here on Spreaker. If you're listening to the show via Spreaker, or of course the app, or my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, you'll see a little thought bubble icon. It's sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on it. It'll get you in the building. You'll be in the live interactive chat room, and you can hang out and chill, and you can even do your own show from inside the chat room. It's all good with me. Let's see what else I got to make sure I let you guys know. 7:30, bottom of the hour. Bottom of the hour, I got the wonderful, beautiful, funny comedian, Miss Melanie Comarcho. She's joining me at the bottom of the hour, so we'll have some fun with that on a Friday. So that means at the top of the following hour, I'll give you guys a trip to the past with my daily feature. I call it On This Day, where I give you guys some tidbits and some factoids and whatnot. Could not get my levels right for some reason. I don't know, do I sound loud or something? Anyway, what up? I am No Dose. He's in the chat room here on a Friday. What was I saying? Yeah, on this day at the top of the next hour, 8 o'clock Eastern time if you're listening live. Not really a lot on the bone today, but the things that the stuff that I do have to talk about, there's a lot of substance to it, I guess. The prep today was wild because a lot of it came from Facebook, from social media, and some of the ridiculous conversations that have been had over the last 2 days about some certain things, and I'll get to exactly what those things are here in just a second. But before I do that, let me set up the rest of the show. First, we got some NBA playoff basketball tonight going on here in a couple minutes. If it hadn't already started, we got the Cavs and the Raptors. They're in Toronto now, and apparently the Raptors have got it figured out. LeBron up there doing all that disrespectful-ish, and now they're going to play more physical. All right, I guess. Kyle Lowry's got an ankle injury, so we'll see if he goes tonight. And then later on, you've got Game 3. Is it already? Game 3 of the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. They're in Houston now. The series is tied 1-1. Tony Parker blew out his damn quad, man. And it looked like he was about to die. Not like because he was in pain. It's just like the shock on his face. Like, man, this could be it for me. Tony Parker's been in the game since he was like 17 years old, man, and he's played a lot of basketball for that one franchise, and it may in fact be coming to an end. But Kawhi Leonard, they still got him. LaMarcus Aldridge woke up a little bit the other night. James Harden got to figure out the puzzle, which is Kawhi, so he's got to see what's popping. Emmett Bean's in the building. What up, man? Coming with the information early. I guess he's talking about Kyle Lowry being active but not starting, he thinks. Thanks. So we'll be looking for Kyle Lowry to be in the game, possibly per Emmett Bean, but not starting tonight. Like it doesn't matter, man. They got like 2 more games to play. He got a whole offseason to rest. Let's run it. Let's go ahead and get this out the way, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what they're going to do about that animal that's wearing number 23 for the Cleveland squad. I don't know what, in fact, they have for that, but You know, they say Dwayne Casey says it's a boxing match. They got to throw some low blows or whatnot. Fine, cool. Blows were thrown yesterday in the Washington Boston series, and now they're going to Washington. They were in Washington. Sorry, 2-1. Celtics are up 2-1 in that series, and Isaiah Thomas didn't have a real good game. And then, see, here's the problem, right? When I'm talking about people talking about, oh, his sister's watching over him and she's putting him on a different level. No, that dude is already a baller. You know, like, it's amazing to see him not get over, but still perform at that level with all the emotional baggage that he's dealing with. But all that magical stuff, because he didn't have a good game the other day. So now people are forced to like switch gears and go in reverse and be like, well, you know, he's been dealing with everything, the tooth surgery and his sister. Yeah, it's the same thing, but you just choose to give it a different narrative. Man, people just need to start learning how to enjoy their sports without all the other fluff, and just become educated about what you're watching, and you'll understand it better, and it'll become more entertaining for you. It's simple and plain. It's really simple and plain. And in the other series, Utah and Golden State, which is, I don't know. Utah's got a good ball club, man, but they're just not good enough. You know what I mean? They don't really got anything popping or anything that the Warriors can't handle. The games have been relatively close via the final scores, like been 12 points, so up in there. But if you watch the game, or like me, just listen to the game while you're doing other stuff on the computer, it's never close. They haven't trailed at all, not once, not even like 2-0 in the entire series so far. So that's your NBA playoff wrap up so far. But the topic du jour, the thing we got to get to first, and I'm going to have to break a little bit early so I don't have Miss Comarcho on hold too long, but we'll give this enough attention. Your man, everybody's favorite loudmouth, I can do everything but ain't never done anything, Uncle LeVar Ball came out with the Zo2s yesterday. And the internet had a little bit of fun. I did too. I had fun with the Zo2s, man. If you hadn't seen them, I think I do have them in the artwork for this show. So if you're listening via Spreaker, you should probably be able to see the artwork for the show. And you can see the Zo2s, man, some low top sneakers. Black is the initial color, I guess, the prototype color. If I'm honest about it, not just playing, they all right. You know, they cool, but I'm not really with the situation in, like, they not my look, but I could see somebody rocking them. It's not like I couldn't, if I went to McDonald's and some, 11-year-old had them on because Lonzo Ball ends up becoming a pretty damn good ball player. I wouldn't be mad at it. The same way I'm not mad at like the Under Armour situation. Kids rock the Under Armour situation. People like me, I came up in the 90s, man. I'm not gonna really vibe with the Steph Curry situation, but I've seen kids, man, plenty of kids rocking the Under Armour situation. If you see like high school football players, they love those those Under Armour cleats that Cam Newton runs. So, there's little bits and pieces of the market that are available. But I guess I didn't mention this. He wants $495 for his son's sneaker. His son, who hadn't played not one damn minute of NBA basketball. And also, they're going to be $795, I believe, if you wear over a 13, which a lot of people who play basketball, aka ballers, size they wear over 13. These long ass feet dudes. And then if you want them signed, I'm guessing signed by the kid, by God, now I can't even think of his name. What is this boy's name? Alonzo. If you want them signed by the kid, you can drop $1,000 on them. I don't want to oversell them. $995 on them to get them signed by Lonzo Ball. And allegedly, they're saying he's already pre-sold like 4,000 to 5,000 pair of situations, man. And this is where the conversation came from today on Facebook. I asked a question, like, where do these numbers come from? Because I'm going to talk about it tonight on my show. I want to know where the numbers come from. So as not to sound like more of an idiot than I already do sound like in most situations. So I asked the question, and it's like, why you don't believe it? I'm like, because It's just an internet thing. Like no Forbes or New York Times or no one else has said, you know what I mean? No one else has said these sneakers have sold 4,000 or 5,000 pair. And then someone posted a screenshot of some like whack website that was saying it. I'm like, okay, that's still not enough. Someone posted an order that came like a automatic response from ordering them on the Big Baller brand website. And then, apparently they're on back order. The shoes are on back order, which if I know what I know, if I know what I think I know about business, for something to be this new and be on back order already, your man is using the money. He's using the order money to fund the actual manufacturing of the shoe, which is bad business. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have these things on hand, they release in November. That's when he's telling people to come. All right. So all the talk about LeVar Ball is already $2 million up. That's ignorance. That's ignorance in business. You understand what I'm saying? Oh God. Emmett Bean saying they're made to order shoes. Yeah. You can't do that. You can't have a mass product that's made to order. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not a custom made suit. It's a shoe. It's a sneaker. Yeah, people, like, even if somebody wants this sneaker, and my man I Am No Doze is saying he's a sneakerhead, and he said he'd rock them. He'd wear them. But even people like that, do you really want to wait for your sneakers? Like, people get into fights outside the stores because they don't want to wait another couple of minutes for some Jordans. People like, yeah, I'm gonna order these joints today, and I'm gonna be so cold when I get them joints for Thanksgiving. Yeah. It's like, and maybe it's just because of who's doing it, because he feels and looks, LeVar, I mean, he looks and feels and sounds like that dude that all of us knows, that dude in the neighborhood that all of us know that talk the biggest game in the world. And when it comes time to produce, he don't know. He owe everybody money too. And his favorite line is, "Come on, brother, you'll never be broke as long as I know you, as long as I owe you." That guy. That's who LeVar Ball comes off as to me. I'm not like a lot of these folks that I'm not putting this dude in a bad guy position. Like, people are really getting emotionally uptight about these things, man, to the point where they're like, I guess, wishing bad upon this dude. Like, I don't want to put him in like a bad guy, like, because he don't come across as a bad dude. Like I say, we all know that guy. We all know that loudmouth ass dude. He don't mean no harm. That's just part of his hustle. That's part of, like, if I say it loud enough, and if I say it enough, and if I keep on saying it, people will believe it. And for whatever it looks like, I guess Arian Foster got a pair of them. Somebody in the chat room just now mentioned Justin Bieber. So to an extent, it's going to work. But as I described that guy that I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm saying. It always works for him initially, right? That initial surge of people who believe, like, yeah, I'm gonna support this brother. That's not something that's necessarily always a long-standing feeling or a long-standing attitude towards people who are like that, because it doesn't sound like he has a whole lot of business acumen. He was asked earlier today, why the hell is the shoe $495? He said, because I felt like it. Okay. You expect to hear answers about profit margins, and the margins weren't large enough for me to just charge $120 or $200. I need to up the charge to take care of my manufacturing fee, because that's the other thing too. If you're not mass producing, it's gonna cost you more money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna school y'all a little bit here from what I know. You know what I mean? Not everything, but when you don't get something mass produced and someone has to do it one by one, they're going to charge you more, which means, guess what? You got to charge the consumer more. It doesn't mean that that's what you really wanted to charge for them, but you have to recoup your money, because it's quite viable that he's had to hire people initially out of his own pocket, market researchers, people to get the material people. Those people don't come cheap. And then the manufacturer, and then probably some other people. Like, all these people got their hands in his pocket before he gets his money. So I think what really needs to happen is the people who want to just be pro LeVar Ball. Oh man, he getting paid. Slow down with that, because you don't know that right now. Right now, homie's he's really in the fake it till you make it arena right now. And this is me just basing it on everything that I know so far about his company, which really, again, like I said on Wednesday, it's not really a company. It's more of an idea at this point. He's got a couple prototype sneakers that he put in a commercial, and he's getting pre-orders for things, but really no substance right now. It's just him, his mouth, and his son, who hopes to be the number 1 pick in the draft next year. And this ain't me. Like, before people start using that word that people love to use when they don't understand something, oh, that's just hate. No, I think the things that I'm saying are very viable things. You know what I mean? And I'm not no Fortune 500 businessman or whatnot, but neither is he. He just seems like a better used car salesman than I am. You know what I mean? He's like Black Trump. Like, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so big and much better, and everything's going to be awesome for everybody. As soon as I started hearing stuff like that, I started to back away slowly with my hand on my wallet, cuz. You know what I mean? Because those things don't make sense to any. Like, somebody has to bite it in most business dealings. Your man said he walked up into Under Armour with a bunch of his gear to negotiate a partnership. That's just wild to me, man. You know? And Emmett Bean brings up a point. He says he got a bunch of free advertising courtesy of social media at ESPN. Yeah, they said it amounts to somewhere around $50 million in free advertising. Here's the thing still. Even if you're getting that advertising, if you don't have a product, who gives a damn? Because we live in a microwave society right now. So too many things are here today, gone tomorrow, because the next story comes so fast. So if you're not in position, and it doesn't sound like he is, to capitalize on this right away, your man needs what they call distribution. And all the places that he went to, that's why he went to them. What part of that aren't we getting? He went to them with the cloak of, I need a partnership. I need y'all to buy me. I need to be a part of this. Y'all need to include me. But also with that quote unquote partnership comes mass manufacturing, comes distribution, things that he, being LeVar Ball in and of himself, he doesn't have. All he has is a website that's taken order by order, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? I don't know that the Baller brand sneaker is in Foot Locker, it's in Champs, Finish Line, any of the places that we usually go to get our sneakers. I haven't heard anything of that nature yet. You know what I mean? Maybe it's in the works. But the attitude from so many people, and I understand what it is. We got to support this brother. What I tell y'all on Wednesday, man, that means nothing to me. You know what I mean? Like, just because me and you share race, no, that's not enough. You know what I mean? Things got to be cool. And this is something I actually talked about this a little while ago on social media, that, you know, people want you to support black people and all this kind of thing, on all these kind of things. But as soon as a black person, like, black people want to, like, LeVar Ball want to get rich quick. He want $1 billion now. And he want me and you to give it to him. And then comes the shame ploy. He's going to shame you into giving him your $500. If you can't afford the big baller brand, then you ain't a real baller. All right. All right, man. Like, you talking to children then. Because if you're talking to grown men, it may work. Let me not underestimate you cats, man. Some dude said, you can't have this because you can't afford it. All right. That's cool with me. If that's how you want to play it, I'm fine with it. But I don't know. I don't know how it'll resonate towards everyone else. Big L, what up, man? Big L's in the chat room. If you guys want to join him in there, you guys can go to Spreaker.com, go to the Spreaker app, or go to your app store and download the Spreaker app. One Mic with BigMike.com as well. You'll see a little thought bubble icon on your streaming player, and then you can jump on into the live interactive chat room where my man I Am No Dose is telling me I'm sounding like a hater. All right, if stating fact is hating in 2017, which I believe it is, because you got Agent Orange ass in the White House, him and his alternative facts. If that's hating, guilty as charged. I'm stating to you guys the same things that maybe you don't know and should know. You know what I'm saying? It may turn out to be a valiant effort, and it may turn out to be exactly what he wants to, but right now it's one of those things that it's not always the what you want, it's how you go about trying to get it. And the people that he's pissing off is not like, think about it this way. He's not just pissing off Nike and Adidas and Under Armour. Like, these are the people who have the relationships that he wants with the distributors, with the manufacturers. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get into a situation like that where people can just blackball you at the, you understand what I'm saying? Like if Nike wants to call Foot Locker and says, look, if you did, and I've seen this happen on a smaller level with someone that owned a mattress company and tried to go head to head with one of the major national mattress brands. And they basically just walked into his store and said, I've called the people that you're trying to poach from me and said, if they even do any business with you, I'm out. No one's trading Nike for the Big Baller brand. It's not what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? It pays to be a little humble when you want something from somebody. But the attitude that my man is coming with is, I have what you want. like his mind's telling him that he has what Nike wants. He has what Under Armour wants. He has what Adidas wants. And I think we can all agree that's not the case. It's not the case at all. You know what I mean? But I'll go back to do this, and I'll break here in a second, and we can pick the conversation back up. I'm not mad at the dude. Like, it feels like a lot of people are. Like, people, like my man Rob is like, I hope his kids do terrible just because of him. It's like, hold on now. Wait. He's not raising serial killers. These seem like to be a group of decent young men. They just got a daddy that's a loudmouth, and that's not a crime in America. You know what I mean? And if he's getting on your nerves, it's really simple. Like, I don't watch anything with Stephen A. Smith on it. Like, if he ever comes on, like, the football shows on Sunday, or if he comes on Sports Center when I'm watching, I'll just turn the channel, because I don't want to hear that. I don't want that as far as my sports go. And it's that simple. I'm not hating on Stephen A. I don't hate him, but I just don't want to consume it. And I think that's the same thing with LeVar Ball. If you don't want to consume it, just don't. It seems like everyone has to always take the next step. You know what I mean? Oh, he's such an a-hole. F that dude. Like, why? Why? Like, what has he actually done? I mean, if he fails at this or succeeds, it's on him. It's not going to affect me. It's not going to affect Big Mike any. I think it's another part of it. I think it's a new approach. So it makes people feel uncomfortable. And that's what usually happens when things are new. People get a little uncomfortable because it's not what you're used to. And the fact that, that level of arrogance, let's keep it real, that level of arrogance and that level of, it's like stupid arrogance too. Like, I saw a promo with him on saying that he's never lost, I'm undefeated and all that kind of stuff. That's hard to swallow for most people because you haven't done any. I mean, it's hard to swallow if you're Michael Jordan, if you're LeBron James, you have that level of arrogance. But when you are LeVar Ball and you have that level of arrogance, yeah, people look at you sideways. People look at you real crazy, like, my guy, what are you really, really talking about here? But as far as what he's doing, look, man, he's got a lot more. I guess my initial point, and like I said, we'll get back into this conversation after this interview with Melanie Comarcho here, that he's got a lot more hurdles to get over than a lot of people think he does. You know what I mean? And that speaks to the business acumen of the people who are saying these things, that people are hating on him, and also the people who actually are hating on him. They're not giving any reason for him. Like, I gave a bunch of reasons why this thing is not really something that's long standing in its current construction. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can be an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? Because in Emmett Beans mentioned it, in today's society, you got SoundCloud, you can be a distributor, right? But it has to be something somebody already wants, and it's wanted by the masses. Like, you're not gonna get rich off of 5,000 pair of sneakers for $500, because eventually the novelty of them will wear down. Why the hell you think they keep putting out the same damn Jordans? Because eventually you have to continue to reinvent them, some things, and those marketing plans, and those things, they take more money than the money that you're getting off of a $495 sneaker. Which the price point of the sneaker tells you a lot about what it is. And his answer, that's what I felt like charging. And then he was asked about the higher pricing for the larger sizes. Well, they just cost more to make. Yeah, you know why? Because you're making them one by one by one. So the more money that comes out of his pocket is the more money he's going to need to take out of your pocket, or whoever is buying the items pocket. That's not necessarily the best bit. Like, Nike's over in China getting babies in sweatshops to build these Jordans for like $2. Then they put them in the store for $225 for you. You know what I mean? That's a pretty good profit margin. Let's take a break. So I don't have to have my guest on hold when she finally calls in. Her name is Melanie Comarcho. She's a stand-up comedian. Plenty of you probably know her. If you don't recognize her name, Google her. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I know her. She's crazy as hell. But she'll be joining me here next, here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here live, man. 7 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in, and, of course, One Mic with BigMike.com. The show is also streaming live right now on my Facebook page at One Mic with Big Mike. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Again, it's One Mic with Big Mike. Text the show, 404-902-8104. I love to hear what you got to say about your man, LeVar, and the big baller brand shoe, the Zo2s. Like I said, we'll pick up the conversation here in just a second. Let's have a little fun with Melanie Comarcho coming up next.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So of course we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing. This problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Is it the strength of your
Friday, right here on the One Mic with Big Mike show, coming at you live on Spreaker app. Tune in, onemicwithbigmike.com. Also heard on demand on all of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course YouTube. Got the live stream going on right now on Facebook, so make sure you check out the Facebook page at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE and get that joint a like while you're there. So apparently, taking a break to masturbate at work could work wonders on your stress levels. I don't know why that's a thing or why someone would think so, but apparently some doctors have said if you take a break, taking a masturbation break for boredom or an escape would increase your focus. That doesn't sound like a good idea for some professions. Like, I work at home, so I might take them up on this, having trouble focusing. Just go ahead and just bang one out very quick and then come back to my reading and doing my voice stuff and all that kind of stuff. But, like, if you work around kids, don't do this. Don't do this. If, like my next guest, if you work on stage, don't do that. Don't be taking masturbation breaks at your gig like that. All right, we're waiting on Melanie Comarcho, comedian, actor, writer, Melanie Comarcho, to call in right now so we can continue the conversation on Mr. LeVar Ball, the guy who he is what he is. He's polarizing, and I think that serves to his greater purpose. You know what I mean? Because people hate him. People are like, oh, I hope his kids do hella well, and I hope he blows up. Then you got other people on the other side saying they hope the kids fail. Like, even to the point today, it got like real weird real quickly. Like, cats start talking about the young boy, the 15-year-old. Like, his game is limited anyway, man. He ain't even gonna be that good. It's like, what's happening right now? Like, how do we get to a point where we're breaking down the game of a child whose dad, from all accounts, simply wants his sons to have their own? Like, at the very base of it all, that's pretty much the genesis of it. That's pretty much the crux of it all, right? He wants something that his kids can have that's theirs, and not having to depend on the things that normally occur in the world of sports. At face value, ain't nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people have an objection to the way he's going about it, because it feels as though it's an attempt to also overshine his son, the oldest one in particular, Lonzo, who has the potential of being the number one pick. And I want you guys to look at something. When they do interviews together, look at the boy. Like, look at the kid while the dad is talking. He looks so uncomfortable. And I'm not trying to do like a body language class. I'm not that guy, but just look at him when his dad is doing all this wild and crazy stuff. And you can also probably imagine for yourself, if it was your dad, you'd still, no matter if you knew he had your best interest in mind, you still feel a certain level, you understand me, of embarrassment. Like, come on, Pops, you can pull back a little bit. You know what I mean? Everything ain't got to be on 100 at all times, man. But if the results come to fruition the way he anticipates them coming, no one will be pointing any fingers the way they're doing now. Like, that's probably, if I had to do like pros and cons to LeVar Ball, and even going a step further, if I went pros and cons to the reaction of LeVar Ball, it's like, you don't have to be all the way in or all the way out. There is middle ground. Like, the whole idea of, I mean, in the black community, we complain all the time about fathers not being around. Look at us now. We complain about a father being around too much. No, like, there's a level between like going out for cigarettes and never coming back and LeVar Ball. Like, there's a comfortable median in there somewhere where, like, the kid is the standout, but everything that we know about is the dad. We only know about his 2.2 point scale. Like, if I ask you right now, how many points did LeVar Ball average a game in college? And if I ask you how many points did Lonzo Ball average in college, you probably know the dads first. I could see where people would have an issue with that, but his kids. What I tell y'all when this stuff first started, anybody that's a parent, no, you didn't get no rule book, no instruction manual. Like, the only thing that you can be judged by is what the final product is. And as far as in his case, those kids don't look like thugs to me. They don't look like somebody that tomorrow you're going to open up the newspaper and, Mellow Ball has robbed 3 people at McDonald's. Like, it don't feel like that's the case for those kids. So from that aspect, I think, yeah, you can big him up, man. You know what I mean? He's going to put out 3 what seems to be, you don't know what the future is going to be, obviously, but what seems to be a couple of very, very decent members of society, no matter how good or bad they are at basketball. It seems like he's raised 3 young men who going to be all right. Now, there are the cons again with him. And I think he accepts it, other than the fact that he said this morning on the radio that everybody loves him. When he was asked about, like, how does he reconcile the fact that so many people hate him? He's like, oh, that ain't true. Everybody love me. I'm like, see, that's that delusional Trump stuff. You know what I mean? That, of course, people don't like you. That's in everybody's realm to not be liked. And also that means I don't trust you. Anybody who feels like everybody likes them, I don't trust you out the gate. Out the gate. If one of your goals in life is to be liked by everyone, or you feel like you're liked by everyone, I can't trust you. I can't trust that you're an authentic person. Anyway, I don't know where my guest is, man. Maybe she stood me up. That would suck. I ran promos and stuff. that would totally suck, man. And I was looking forward to talking to her about a gang of stuff too, about, being a female comedian, and actually asking her about this whole LeVar Ball situation, because she's out in LA. I think she's actually from LA as well. We got the 25th anniversary of Rodney King getting his ass beat for 7 minutes by some innocent police. Apparently, that's the thing. The riots, the 25-year anniversary of the riots, and I wanted to talk to her about that, but things be see Emmett Bean, you on that. Emmett Bean's like, he's crazy, but like, no, there's a lot of people, man, that have a lot of it's irrational. It's a lot of irrational vitriol towards my G, but it's not everybody don't like him. And it's because it's can we explore that for a second? Like, the reasoning behind people not liking him, I think is the bigger elephant in the room. I remember a couple of years ago, I was talking about LeBron James to some people, and people got really excited. This is when I was on radio and I had like phone lines and people could call in and be real idiots. I talked about how LeBron James makes people uncomfortable because of all the things that he is and all the things that they aren't. And it's cool until you have to hear about it, until you're forced to hear about it. Like, you remember when he lost the first finals in Miami, and he did the post-game press conference, and my G was like, yeah, it's cool. Let him keep hating, because tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and be me, and you're going to wake up and be you. And while all of that was totally 100% accurate and true, guess what? You don't like to hear it, because it makes you look in the mirror at yourself. That's one of the reasons people don't like. Because if you had your druthers, if a lot of people had their druthers, you know what they would do? They would raise a number 1 pick in the NBA draft. They would figure out a way to do it. This dude said my man said he chose his wife. Straight up. He chose her because she was an athlete, so that he could put this whole plan of his in motion. Like, if you think this stuff happened like when these kids got to like junior high, this plan was forged while all 3 of those kids was still in his ball sack. He had this plan already died with the shoes, and my son is going to be this, and all my son's going to go to UCLA. Now, the problem may be, say that, is the fact that all these kids went to Chino Hills, LA, right? All of them already committed, and Lonzo's already finished up at UCLA. LeVar said his son needs to go to the Lakers. Well, the Lakers got a young point guard that they pretty much ain't ready to give up on. I don't think they're ready to give up on D'Angelo Williams yet. He was D'Angelo Williams, the number 2 pick overall in the draft, 2 or 3. They're not ready to give up on that yet. Magic's in the building. You know what I'm saying? They just got Luke Walton last year, which means, this kid who's been around his dad and been, under the safety net of his pops forever, could find his ass somewhere in Jersey or Orlando, some damn where. Now, that dynamic is going to be the one that's going to be worth taking a look at. Hold on, I need to send a text real quick. Hold on, y'all. All right, there we go. All right. Where was I? LeVar Ball. And I'm asking y'all, for what it's worth, does any, like, if you're pro LeVar Ball, which it seems to be, those are the two categories, right? You're pro LeVar Ball, or you're what's the opposite of being pro? Nay, or whatever, yay and nay. You're against LeVar Ball. Can anybody in either of those camps see the opposite end of the way they currently think? Like, if you're like, oh, this dude's an idiot, he's a loud mouth, he ain't never done that, get off my TV. If you're that dude or girl, do you even see the part about him just being a dad that wants more for his sons? Like, more than anyone else has had before them in the game that they in? And if you're the person who says, yeah, I want him to ball, I want him to keep getting checks, keep doing, like, that's always weird to me when people start cheering or jeering for somebody else's money. That's like weird to me because it has no effect on me. I don't care. I don't care if LeVar Ball loses all his money on this deal, or if he turns into a billionaire, he turns into Bill Gates off of it. Like, I don't care unless he gonna cut me in. I can care either way. But if you're on that end of the thing where you got all this hope and wishing and all these type of things, at any point do you see the other side of that where this dude he just rubs people the wrong way because of what he is? You know what I mean? There's everything can't be a first take argument, black and white. There's plenty of gray within this situation. You know what I mean? And you don't have to agree or disagree. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have an agreement or a disagreement with what he's doing, because everything will flesh itself out. Everything will come out in the wash. Whether what he did, the chances that he took, the risks that he made, if they come to fruition, we'll all sit back and say, you know what? Shout out to him. You know, and there's some people that'll laugh and gloat at him. I was surprised today that people were as serious as they were about this situation. Because, like, for the last 2 days, I've been, like, joking and playing around because I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, last week I put out a video, that video of Darren Williams doing that somersault and, like, rolling up on the trainer, like, what are those? Like, I said, that's going to be LeVar Ball next year after I found out that he got the boot from the big sneaker companies. But to me, it's all jokes and funny. But there are people who are, like, mad serious about this. Like LeVar Ball is coming to take $500 out of your pocket without you knowing it. That's weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, this is America, right? It's a supply and demand situation. If he's supplying something that there is no demand for, it'll flesh itself out in that way. You know what I mean? Without anyone else's, help, it'll just flesh itself out that way. I said on Wednesday, I don't see people, going away from the brand loyalty that they currently have in order to adopt a new thing. Because, like, and just telling me that Justin Bieber is wearing them or Arian Foster is wearing them, like, these people, that's who those people are, by the way. They're fly by night people anyway, that whatever looks cool right now, let me just jump on it right fast. It doesn't come across to me that that's what LeVar Ball wants. Because, again, he got 2 more sons outside of Lonzo. So, really, it's almost as though he's setting or forming a foundation with the first kid in order to, smooth it on in or make it a lot smoother for the other 2 kids, which may be why it's so difficult now. The Nike people have said what they said about him. I don't know if you guys saw this. They said he's the worst thing that happened to basketball in 100 years. Like, that's like mad hyperbolic. How is LeVar Ball the worst thing that happened to basketball in the last 100 years? Man, I mean, there was a point in basketball not too long ago, man, where they had a huge cocaine problem in the 80s. Like, that seems to be a little bit worse than LeVar. I'm just, like, if I had to compare, like, players hooked on cocaine and one dude's dad who can't shut the hell up, yeah, I'm probably going to go with the cocaine problem. You know what I mean? But that's what the Nike people said about him. And that's one of those bells that you can't necessarily unring. Because no matter how you slice it, no matter what you think about the big corporations or whatever, it's their game, and they can invite who they want to play in it. If you notice the story of Under Armour, like, that company, if I'm not mistaken, they almost went bankrupt. trying to compete. You know what I mean? And it just, it worked out for him in the way that it did eventually. And now Under Armour is one of the big players. But it took a minute. You remember? They had to get out of apparel, then not get out, but transition from apparel to footwear to the cleats, and then to get into basketball shoes, to actually get into and then get the 2-time MVP was a big deal. To be on who was the other big? Oh, Jordan Spieth. Right, Jordan Spieth was the other big one because he was the next coming after Tiger Woods, the guy who stepped on the scene at a very young age, and he was wearing all of their gear, all their golf stuff was on Jordan Spieth. Of course they got Cam Newton and whatnot, but another MVP. So they were very fortunate in the strategy that they put forward in the athletes that they decided to endorse, which helped them out a lot. You know what I'm saying? LeVar's hitching his wagon to one pony, man. His son, you know what I mean? Which tells you what? The shoe brand, it goes as Lonzo goes. Like Nike done lost. Adidas put $250 million into Derrick Rose. $250 million into Derrick Rose. And it seemed like a good investment initially. But then a couple knee surgeries later, including this recent knee surgery to tear his meniscus. That's kind of dead money. You know what I'm saying? Like they was probably hoping he got pinched for that for that rape gig, man. That rape charge he beat. They was probably hoping he got beat with it. Beat for it because they got the clauses in the contracts that you can't do no dumb stuff off the field, rape included, and they would have been able to take his money from him. But nah, he's just there. So these people, they take L's. But if Kevin Durant don't pan out, so what? They got Russ Westbrook. They got other cats rocking the Nikes. Same with Adidas and Adidas got James Harden, right? And they got Dame Lillard. Is Dame Lillard on Adidas as well? So they cover their bases enough to where one guy falls off, it's cool. LeVar's in the situation where it's like all chips into the middle of the table, man, on my son. And why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? It's his boy. Who wouldn't bet on their own? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live right now on Spreaker.com. Still awaiting my guest, Miss Melanie Comarcho. Just sent a text to her PR and waiting to hear back about this. You can get me on the TuneIn app as well and One Mic with BigMike.com. The website. Go check out the new website, man. I moved some things around. And I tried to spruce it up. I got to get my guy to do some quality control on it to make sure it's acceptable. Emmett Beans in the chat room right now. You guys can join him in there. Just click the little thought bubble icon you see on that streaming player that you're listening to the show on. If you're listening via Spreaker, the app, or my website, OneMicWithBigMike.com. He's saying Reebok fell off. The Reebok situation is another situation. Remember, Reebok put a lot into Allen Iverson. Like Allen Iverson he's still getting Reebok money right now, and they weren't able to latch on with anybody else to the point. Adidas bought Reebok. Reebok is a subsidiary of Adidas, like Converse is a subsidiary of Nike. Now, I don't know if a lot of people realize that's one company. Well, Reebok and Adidas are essentially one company, and Nike and Converse are essentially one company. Reebok, what Reebok is doing, by the way, they're the major sponsor, which is crazy. They're the major sponsor of UFC, but they don't wear shoes in the UFC. They out there barefooted, or they got their feet taped up. And Reebok also is they're JJ Watt shoes. Yep. But look what you do when you are a shoe company and you're like, yeah, we got the hottest dude in the game. JJ Watt is broke back like a mug now. You know what I mean? Those are the problems that I'm explaining to you guys about when you like hit your wagon to what you might think is a sure thing. You need like diversity. That's the key to it all. Like what LeVar Ball needs is he needs some of these other, like if I was him, I'd get some of these second round draft pick guys, man. Sign them up. You never know who's going to be the second round Dame Lillard or the Isaiah Thomas. You don't know who's going to be who those guys are going to be. But try to expand a little bit. Try to diversify so that if Lonzo doesn't turn into the next Steph Curry, You know what I mean? Maybe you can still recoup off other players, but it doesn't seem like his mind is working on that level. His mind is really what's the word? What's the phrase? Like he's got blinders on, and it's all about him, and it's all about his big baller brand, and it's all about, his sons. And that, to me, when you talk about businessmen, you gotta be able to move. Like somebody explained this to me a long time ago. They talked about finding tides, learning which tide to ride, like which wave is over, and hopping on another wave, and which wave will take you another distance, and so forth and so on. Right now, he's on one wave, baby. He's on the ball wave, and I'm not sure. I've only seen the kid play. I saw him in the tournament. I saw him in a couple of games at UCLA, and I thought his game was cool. I didn't think he was transcendent in any way. Like when you start like thinking about guys, and you start at LeBron, you know what I mean, and you work your way down from there. I didn't really see. I heard all the Jason Kidd comparisons, and that's in my wheelhouse. Like Jason Kidd. You guys have heard me say this before, man. Like Jason Kidd, Kenny Anderson, and Chris Jackson, a.k.a. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, are the three coldest college point guards I think I've ever seen. That's including Allen Iverson. Like, I didn't really consider Allen Iverson a point guard at Georgetown. You know what I mean? I still don't. I still don't consider him a point guard in the sense of the time he played in. You know what I mean? At that time, point guards meant something different. If Allen Iverson played now, of course he'd be a point guard. He'd be the same as like Steph Curry and Russ and those cats that take 20 shots a game. You know what I mean? But in the time that he played it, I couldn't really look at him in that light because he wasn't doing those things. Like Allen Iverson was busting your ass for 50 points. That's not point guard stuff. That's that's real ass shooting guard stuff outside the fact that my dude was 6 foot tall. That's the only thing that kept him out of that realm. Everything else within his game had that about it. All right, I feel like you guys are tired of the LeVar Ball conversation. It feels like that's kind of lasted its spell. One last thing about it though, with him not being covered by the umbrella, the Adidas umbrella, or the Under Armour, Nike umbrella, he's open to litigation, and it's already started. One of Ohio State's assistant football coaches, he's suggesting that Lonzo Ball's signature shoe actually stole his logo. Let me find this story for you guys. And these are the things, man. These are the things that people don't think about when they have these ideas and they think of them as companies. Nike has protection over a lot of these things, man. These trademarks and these logos. And ain't as simple as just like me. Like I sit down at the Photoshop and like, what do I want my logo to look like? And I just think of one. I don't have no product research. I don't have nobody checking for no trademarks or none of these things. Cause I'm just me. You know what I mean? And but he's working on a much, he's trying to work on a much larger scale than maybe he's ready for at this time, man. And we all know the old adage, you fake it till you make it, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's cool until somebody like Zach Smith, the wide receivers coach at Ohio State, he created a logo for his team's receiver corps and he dubbed it Zone 6. He changed his this is funny. He changed his Twitter bio. It now includes, quote, designer of Lorenzo Ball's logo. You see what I'm saying? That's where you're wrong. And it means that they don't look similar. They do look similar. They're not alike, but they in fact do look similar. and in the world of, you mentioned earlier, like the world society that we live in now, we live in a world where many people get busy off the frivolous lawsuit, man. You know what I mean? Every day, like every time you turn around, somebody is like, yeah, that's my song. That was my movie idea. They stole Empire from me. You know what I mean? Every time. So this dude, like his burden of proof is not going to be as stringent as you might think it is, because this is not a Nike shoe. If he goes after Nike, Nike's going to bury his ass in lawyers. You know what I mean? This dude goes and tries to sue Nike. Nike's gonna cut this dude a check for $1,000 and say, you better keep it moving, because you don't want this problem in court. You'll go broke messing with us, my G. But LeVar Ball is his own entity. It's just one dude. So if it's two dudes suing another dude, really, he's not out anything. You know, he goes up in civil court and say, this is what it is, man. See this dude on Judge Mathis or something? Does that still come on? Judge Mathis or something? Yeah, these are not just for LeVar Ball, by the way. These are not just problems for him. This is for anyone, you know, who starts up something. You know what I'm talking about. Like people start restaurants, you know, or like just came to my mind, right? Like McDowell's and McDonald's, you know what I mean? Like you think you just got your little corner of the world until the big boy sees what you're doing and was like, hold on, time out. Yeah, we're going to have to get some of that bread off you, cuz, for that. But it's nothing like yours. See, we got the golden arcs. You got the golden arches. It's different. Nah, not so much. So again, like, I mean, Bean is saying it's bogus because apparently he's team. Like, everybody's in their own little corners. You know, everybody has run to I'm team LeVar or F LeVar. Everybody's in their own little corners. But the reality of it is, regardless of if it's bogus or frivolous or not, if somebody brings the suit, you have to defend the suit. That's more money. So today, earlier on, while everybody was counting LeVar's money, LeVar done got $2 million already. Y'all ain't the only one that saw that. Other people, my man, this cat from Ohio State saw it too, and was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, oh all right." Yeah, I got this Zone 6 logo that I came up with way before yours, cuz we need to talk. And if you really think this is gonna be the last, you sadly mistaken. Cause I read something today that like y'all saw, I mentioned Big L said that he likes the shoe. Well, there might be a reason why. Because apparently he hired a designer, or he worked with a designer that was a former Nike designer. And the shoe looks like the Kobe, one of the Kobe shoes. Like, that's the thing about me. I got like a bunch of sneakers, but I'm not what you call a sneaker head. I buy sneakers that I like. Oh, excuse me. If I bought a new hat, you know what I mean? If I bought a new hat and I need some sneakers for this, I'll go find some sneakers for this, some Nikes or some Adidas that go with my hat that I just bought. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the way I roll. I'm not the dude that, I don't know what the Jordan numbers are. I don't know what the Kobe numbers or the KD numbers. I don't know that stuff. It's kind of weird to me, and I actually want to talk about that. If Melanie doesn't join us, we'll take a break here in just a second, and we'll come back and we'll dive into the whole sneakerhead idea, because that's not really my move or whatever. Like, dudes that have like 250 pair of sneakers is kind of like weird to me. You know, and I know you dress it up and like, well, they're collector's items. All right. All right. If you say so. So yeah, back to what I was saying before we take a break. Emmett Beans, he's correct. They're very much like the Kobe shoe. So if it get too hot and Nike says, yeah, B, people already talking about this shoe being like a Kobe shoe. People are already talking about, you got one of our former designers to design this shoe. They can put together a real frivolous, a real petty ass case. And you know who's going to lose? Not the dude with the 50 super lawyers, not the company with the super lawyers, LeVar. Like, if they want to get petty, they'll run his ass out of business before he even gets going good. These again these are the problems. Like, I'm not, well, it wouldn't matter anyway if I was hoping it on him, but I'm not. You know what I mean? For people who believe that you can hope things on people, I'm not doing that. All I'm doing, again, I'm just pointing out, you know, the pitfalls of a guy that's boisterous about something, but maybe not having all his ducks in a row. You dig what I'm saying? Like the guy in the White House right now, he talked more ish than a little bit and knows nothing. Knows not one damn thing. This is the dude that said, who did say Andrew Jackson or one of these damn presidents would have stopped the Civil War. He would have just worked it out. Because nobody really knows why they had to have a civil war. Yeah, douchebag, it's called slavery. And the dude that you're talking about, he died 15 years before the Civil War and owned hella slaves and was all about that life when it came to catching free ones or runaway ones. But he just talked. And then eventually somebody called him on his junk. And it turns out bad for everybody. Like, UMFers got pre-existing conditions. I shouldn't say we, all of us. Most of us got some sort of if you got asthma, that's a pre-existing condition. Yeah, they just like, y'all can die. It's all good. Y'all can just die and we'll be all right. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll go down that road. Anyway, let's take a break. We try to find Melanie Comarcho, man. Promised you guys a guest today and now I look like a liar. Well, I am, but in this case, I was actually telling the truth. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show, Spreaker.com, halfway through a Friday, man. The Spreaker app, tune in, OneMic with BigMike.com as well is on the Facebook Live. I'm on Facebook Live at One Mic with Big Mike. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms. And your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So of course we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing. This problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike. One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
What's the name of the show?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Ain't nobody getting hurt, ain't nobody. There's no crime being committed.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
This is real life stuff that's happened to me.
Well, you know what?
You, and you.
One Mic with Big Mike.
I like to be able to do what I want to do.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limits.
Meek Mill's concert is not called the Hell Yeah I Bang Khloe Kardashian concert.
And now, your host.
Put your hands together for the one, the only
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
It's quitting time, man. Friday, heading into the weekend. It's a rainy, wet, dreary weekend or week so far here in the A. Hopefully it brightens up a little bit for Saturday and Sunday so people can get out and enjoy themselves and do whatever they want to do. I'm here, man. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, tune in, and OneMicWithBigMike.com, as well as on the Facebook page at One Mic with Big Mike. You can hear the show on demand. If you missed any of today's show or any other show that I've done since I started, you can get them all on demand on the 4 outlets I've already mentioned, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube, to the iTunes, to the iHeart, to the Stitcher, all those things as well. So no word yet on my guest, Melanie Comarcho. So while we wait, let's take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
All right, for your final edition of On This Day for this week. Oh, also, it's Cinco de Mayo for all you Negroes who like to celebrate holidays and ain't got nothing to do with your ass. Cinco de Mayo, St. Patrick's Day. What's the other ones y'all love? All of them, matter of fact, Christmas, all that stuff ain't got nothing to do with y'all. You got these damn white folks mad around here about Black Santa. Stop. On this day in 1922, a contract was awarded to New York's White Construction Company, speaking of whites, for the construction of the Yankee Stadium, the first one. On this day in 1925, Everett Scott of the New York Yankees ended his game playing streak at 1,307 games. On this day in 1935, stand up for the GOAT, Jesse Owens of the U.S. sets a long jump record of 26 feet, 8.25 inches. On this day in 1965, Jim Bailey, he becomes the first runner to break the 4-minute mile in the U.S. He was clocked at 3 minutes, 58.5 seconds. Is this the dude that came up with the Nike logo? That movie of the dude that was running the 4-minute mile or whatever? And he came up, they designed a Nike logo, or he designed it or whatever. Somebody get on that for me. On this day in 1966, the great Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, he broke the National League record for home runs when he hit his 512th. On this day in 1978, Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds, registered his 3,000th Major League hit. Still ain't in the damn Hall of Fame, old gambling ass. On this day in 1989, in Albany, New York, the great Iron Mike Tyson, he got his second speeding ticket for drag racing. Yeah, Mike was out there living it up, boy. Mike might have went broke and messing with Don King, but nobody can tell me that Mike can't get the most. That dude was buying tigers and some most, like, he got the most from a kid from, where's Mike from? Brooklyn, the Bronx, wherever he's from. Yeah, he got the most out of that era run that he had. On this day in 1995, the last game was played at the Boston Gardens. They beat the Orlando Magic beat the Boston Celtics. And finally, on this day in 2004, it was announced that Spider-Man 2 ads would appear on the bases in Major League games during games from June 11th to June 13th. The plan was canceled the very next day. Yeah, because somebody with some damn sense decided how stupid that was. Let's try to get kids involved in the game. You know what we can do? Put Spider-Man on all the damn bases. Why? Because you want, like, 5-year-olds involved? Baseball's so whack and stupid. Like, everything about it is just, like, ridiculous. And how serious they take it. It's so stupid. Anyway, back to the conversation. Back to what we were talking about before we left. Well, what I wanted to talk about, I wanted to ask you guys about this. You know, you guys are in the chat room if you're listening. Also you're watching via the Facebook live stream, whatever. The concept of being a sneakerhead, like, how did that come about? Did it come about because, like, you were like me, you couldn't get the name brand sneakers when you was kids, so now that you got some money and you're earning your own keep, you kind of, like, you know, you do what you do? Because it was a time where, like, owning a bunch of pair of shoes was a female thing. Like, that was what women did. You know what I mean? Like, I got a bunch of different concepts and things that run through my mind when it comes to when I see someone that's got, like, not a closet full. Like, people have dedicated rooms, like shelves and rooms and pullouts in whole rooms of homes for sneakers. And it just seems like that's like, it's kind of overkill. But I like, one of the things I always wonder, is it like a subsidiary of more and more young boys being raised by women? You know what I mean? Because I remember being a kid and looking in my sister's closet and my mom's closet and looking in mine like, what the hell's going on? But then it was my dad was there too. So it was like I was more, not having a bunch of shoes was me being more like my dad than my mom and my sister. So I could immediately justify not having that much because I could immediately associate it with something that, well, maybe this is what girls do and not what guys do. But if you think about it, if you don't have that guy in the house with you and you just with your moms and your aunties and your sisters or whoever, it seems to be like it's a thing that you aspire to. Because I remember a day when, I sound like I'm so old, you know what I mean? But it's true. When dudes didn't know women's fashion, like when Nelly, the guy, shout out to the guy Nelly, was like, what do you say, Manolos, I can't tell. That used to be a thing. But now, man, dudes know more about women's purses. They rapping about them, and they know about women's, heels and shoes, and it feels weird to me. I'm not gonna front. It feels like a weird, uncomfortable thing, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't need to know that. There was this picture I posted of this girl that had on some Jordans, but they weren't like Air Jordans. They were like Jordan brands, but it's just like fine, thick, big booty girl. And the caption was like, I'm not effing with you with them Jordans on, with them shoes on or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, that can't be a thing that dudes say. So I posted the picture in one of the groups that I'm in, and lo and behold, that's a thing. Like, if a chick, no matter how bad she is, if she don't have on, even if they Jordans, but they not like the $250 pair, like the Jordan 1s or 12s or whatever they might be, you can't bang with her? Yeah. Yeah, I am old, dude. Like, cause I be losing all day. I be picking up all them scraps. Y'all throwing down. Like, yeah, man, I can't mess with Shawty, man. She ain't spending enough on her tennis shoes. All right. Cause I don't know. I don't know about y'all. I don't crush with my sneakers on, cuz my socks. Yeah, I'm not savage. Keep my damn socks on. I am no those. Okay, so he's answering the question. I've only got like 50 pair, but I wanted Jordans as a kid and couldn't get them. So now I get the ones I wanted back then. Yeah, that makes sense to me because that's me. Like, my mom's, like, at our crib, especially when I was younger, my mom was like, you don't know how to take care of nothing anyway. So, like, I had, like, the church shoes, the school shoes, and then the play shoes, which was only the old school shoes. You know what I mean? So now, dude, and it almost feels, like, so embarrassing and ostentatious when I say this, man. Like, I say it out loud because I think about it a lot, especially, like, after Colin Kaepernick gave away all those Jordans. I start thinking about, like, I have shoes that I've had for years and have worn like 5 or 6 times. You know what I mean? To the point where, like, I'll just put on a pair of shoes that I haven't worn in a very, very long time just to go down the street to get me a kickstart. Just to say that I wore them, because it feels weird for me to have them and not wear them. You know what I mean? And they look new, and I got on like some bummy ass sweats going down to the Family Dollar to get me a honey bun or something with some brand new shoes on. It looks real ridiculous and stupid. But I think about that because I probably got a little bit over 50 pair of sneakers, man. I got sneakers in my closet. I got sneakers in the closet in this room that I'm in now. And it's like real ridiculous. And I like when the Kidney Foundation people come, I give them to them. I try to give some to my dad, but he don't know nothing about no damn sneakers. And that's kind of offensive too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember the first pair of sneakers I gave my dad. We were doing a promotion. Speaking of, my man Emmett Bean said the Reebok is dead. But you guys remember when Reebok had those S Carters? We did a promotion for Reebok, and we got the S Carters before they even came out. And I thought they was cool shoes, but then I hated the way they looked on my feet. So I wore them like once and gave them to my pops. He had no idea. Almost like years had gone by. He still had them damn sneakers, and he had no idea what significance. He had no idea who Sean Carter was. None of those damn things, man. So, yeah, I don't give that dude nothing. Well, I do. I still give him shoes, but it's still upsetting and stupid. But I just wanted to know from y'all, man, it's for black people, especially black men. You know what I mean? Because it's something that it feels like we keep these sneaker companies alive, if I'm not fronting. I think that's where a lot of, to go back to the Lonzo Ball or the LeVar Ball situation, I think that's where a lot of people, even I Am No Dose said earlier in the chat room, he was like, F Nike, F Jordan, even though that's what I ball in, that's what I rock. It's that type of mentality. Like, you see the bruh trying to come up and do his own thing and bang with the big boys. So there's a part of you that want to support that, but because I think subliminally you understand that as black people, we keep a lot of these things alive. There's a reason that Jordans and Yeezys and all these things can run you $500, man. There's a reason that people can put like 2 pair of Jordans in a shoe store and have a line out the door, have people fighting and murdering each other for a pair of tennis shoes, and they do it in the hood. There's a reason that stuff happens, man. And I feel complicit in it. I feel like I participate in it because I'm not running around here in no Starberries or no Shacks. I'm not running around here with them joints on. But I don't know what the opposite of that is, though. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the quandary. I don't know what the opposite of that is, because for some reason, we as black people, we cherish sneakers for whatever reason we do, man. We cherish sneakers, man, like no other. Like, you know what I mean? Dudes I've seen fight over their sneakers getting stepped on. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s, that was a thing right there. Like, that was probably the most disrespect. You could probably slap somebody's woman before you step on their sneaker. But white folks ain't like that. You ever bang with white people? White people wear them same Adidas running shoes, and I've literally seen somebody's foot out the bottom of their Air Force Ones. Swear this to be like, I can't even wear my ones. God, this is gonna sound so stupid. You know, like around, like, you know, when you driving, like I got a stick, so you got to drive, and sometimes the heel of the shoe will like rub on the carpet, and you get like a dark mark there. Like if I can't get that off, man, the shoe is like trash. Much less, I've seen people sock through the bottom of the shoe, white boys, but they don't care. They don't bang with that. It's us that we love our sneakers. And I really, like, while we here, we talking, like, somebody, man, holla at your boy, man. Let me know what it is, man. 404-902-8104. White folks chair at Starbucks. Stop it, man, because I don't have a white woman, man, but my woman, like, yeah, she'll kick your ass over her Starbucks, cuz. Like, don't F around, Emmett Bean. Like, it ain't just for white folk. Well, I don't know, because I got a bougie black woman. I ain't gonna front. So, yeah, scratch that. Strike that from the record, what I just said, dude. I got a bougie black woman, so yeah, you probably right about that. Because I don't bang with coffee either, man. Like, when we was working at the radio station, I'd go to Starbucks, like, to get a apple turnover. I wouldn't get no damn latte or no whatever else they serve down there. I don't know what all them coffees is. So, yeah, that's probably a thing. But still, I'll say this, though. If I had to say something about, me too. We, even with coffee, man, coffee, it serves a certain purpose. You guys know that we share, what they call it, mitochondrial DNA with coffee. That's why it's so addictive to people, because we're made, like, coffee's a part of us already. It's a familiar part of us. So caffeine is why it's so addictive, because it's in us. I know y'all ain't come here for no science lesson. My bad. Me being doing my LeVar Ball thing, man. Trying to be a Mr. Know-It-all and crap. All right. So we'll move on from that, man. A couple other things going on in the world of sports before I get up out of here today. I'm so disappointed, man, that my guest didn't join me tonight, man. And no one's getting back to me as to why this is happening, man. You think she might be drunk because it's Cinco de Mayo? It's a little early, though, because in L.A., it's like 4 o'clock. 4 or 5, well, like I said, I guess it's happy hour somewhere. You guys see this thing about Aaron Hernandez? In the next segment, I got to talk about Charlie Strong. I got to talk about something that happened yesterday with my man Charlie Strong. Just some ill-ass racist stuff, man, that really, it points to what I was talking about Wednesday when I was talking about people worrying about the N-word and all that kind of stuff, and really that's not the problem. That's not our problem. You know, rednecks thinking that that's the way to get at some black dude and make you mad. Nah, man, I'm going to tell you about this judge that decided she was going to fire off on from all accounts. And what anybody that I know, you guys know Ben Troop. Ben Troop played on a team where Charlie Strong was a coach. Everyone I've heard talk about this dude talks about him being the nicest guy ever. And she decided to, like, go in on this dude on some real unprofessional, real stupid stuff, man. So I'll save that for the next segment because the conversation might get a little bit deep and in depth, and I don't want to have to cut it off and stop. But what I'll do right now, so one of the Aaron Hernandez suicide letters came out today. Not the one that I'm sure a lot of you might want to know about, the one to his prison lover, who, by the way, says his people saying he want the letter, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said he want his damn letter. The letters were given over to Aaron Hernandez's, I guess I can call it his wifey. They didn't get married, but she took his name. Her last name is Hernandez now. So I can call her his wifey and his baby, his daughter. Here it is. All right. So a couple of things from the letter. One of the paragraphs goes like this, quote, Shay, which is his wifey, Shay, you have always been my soulmate, and I want you to live life and know I'm always with you. I told you that was coming indirectly. I love you so much and know you're an angel, literally, not literally. We split into two. What? We split into two to come change the world. Your characteristics is that is that of a true angel and the definition of God's love. Tell my story full, but never think anything besides how much I love you. This was the Supreme's, the Almighty's plan, not mine. That doesn't seem right either. I'm not the religious guy, but that doesn't seem how that works. That doesn't seem the way that works, does it? He goes on to say, I love you. Then something was redacted. Oh, a name. I guess it's the name of his daughter, I guess. Let somebody know how much I love her. I guess it's his daughter. Look after his number. It just says redacted, but I'm assuming he's talking about his daughter. Look after and blank for me. Those are my boys. Oh, no, I guess just names. And then he finishes off with, you're rich. I knew I love you equals Savage Garden. So apparently, my man offed himself with the knowledge that he would not be considered a murderer by Massachusetts law, because if you die in the process of an appeal, nothing before that is considered to have ever happened. His arrest, his murder trial, his conviction, none of those things were said to have happened. And I think the Patriots, they holding on to like $6 million that would have been paid to him because of the deal he had recently signed before he got into the trouble. The problem that's going to happen, and probably the thing that he didn't think about before he put that sheet around his neck, and I guess too, you know, the questions are kind of answered now that this wasn't a murder situation. That dude offed himself, like I thought initially anyway. And he's giving you, for the people who's like, what reason would he have? He just be the double murder and was in appeal with the other one. Well, now you got your damn reason. You know, problem is he lost a civil suit to Odin Lloyd's parents or mom and his family. And what Odin Lloyd's parents, I keep saying parents, his family, his mom, them, what they're trying to do is, because they've already won in civil court, the same rules don't apply to civil court. He lost. He took that L on that one. They're saying, since they're in the phase of the case where damages are still yet to be awarded, they're saying give us the $6 million and we'll call it square, which would then mean the homie killed himself for no damn reason, because his woman and his baby still ain't gonna have that money. Odin Lloyd's people gonna have it. Which wouldn't, it doesn't matter who gets it at this point right now, this early in the game. What you know right now is it's going to be tied up in litigation, you know, because for whatever dude is talking about God and this is God's will and all that, to me, it just speaks to who this cat is. You know, that was the easy way out. You know, like you can be one of them dudes and be like, well, look at my G. He trying to figure out any way possible to provide for his kin. Yeah, he had a way. Not killing people and just keep on playing football. Like, he had a way. You know what I mean? Now it's just like, you know, I effed up. So let me try to erase my F up by effing up, possibly effing up even more now. Yeah, good for that. Good for him, I guess. Good try. The release of the suicide notes comes just a day after the Department of Correction released more than 100 pages, which guess who is not going to read all that? You got it, me, of documents from its investigation into Hernandez's death. So basically, they had to investigate the circumstances around it, because you remember they say he put the cardboard and whatnot in the tracks of the jail door so they couldn't open it. He put the soap on the ground so in case he changed his mind. Shout out to him for the commitment. In case he changed his mind, he couldn't get any footing and he was gonna die anyway. So there's that. Good riddance, I guess. Moving on. I got a couple minutes here before I got to take my final break. So, here's something for the home team. The Atlanta Hawks. They got to hire a new president of basketball operations. If you remember, Danny Ferry got into some trouble for some racist stuff that he said. He said some. Was he the one that said the thing about Lou Alding? And he's a fake African or something, or he's one of them Africans that keep the good merchandise in the back and sell you the knockoff. It's funny to me, like whatever, man. But then subsequently got fired, and Danny Ferry hadn't been heard from since. And at that time, they didn't rehire anyone. They just let old Coach Bud assume the player personnel duties as well as his coaching stuff. So he's wearing two hats, but it feels as though there was some, I don't want to call it controversy, but there was some butting of the heads at the top of the Hawks organization. You guys remember during the season, they wanted to trade Paul Millsap. He was on the trading block, and Coach Bud was in rebuild mode, which I think is the proper mode to be in for this team. He was in rebuild mode. The upper brass, the ownership was like, hell no. We selling tickets. Excuse me. That was gross. We selling tickets like we never had before. Keep it moving. Let's go. So now he stepped down. Also, Wilcox, what is his name? Wes Wilcox would no longer be the general manager. But in true white man fashion, you get fired, but not really. Like this dude, he's supposed to be the GM, Wes Wilcox. He won't be anymore. He'll still be working for the team as an advisor to ownership, or a special advisor to ownership is what they call it. That just sounds like you just want to keep getting your man a check because, you know what I mean? That's not even a real job. That sounds like something that they just made up for this dude so he can keep getting that check. I got to get better white friends, man. I so got to get better white friends. Which leads me to the other part of this whole cluster, you know what? It's Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was signed in the offseason. Nice, chunky deal for Dwight Howard to come on home, and everybody was all excited. And then I saw it happen. The thing that I said was going to happen at the beginning of the season, before the season even started, I think the statement that I made was, this is going to be all good until it ain't, because these folks in my city, they turn on your ass like it ain't like no other. Like they'll give him that Josh Smith treatment so fast. Just like when every time Josh Smith wanted to shoot a three and people start losing their damn mind, you could hear it audibly from the audience. No. Well, it's happening. I saw it yesterday on Facebook. It's happening. People who love them some Atlanta Hawks are saying Dwight Howard ruined my team. This is a waste. I have to eat crow now. I thought it was. I didn't think it was going to be this way. He's not a fit. He's not a fit. But then it got real spicy real quick. People start hollering out, Dwight Howard is a cancer. We should have listened to what they said in LA about him. He's a cancer. It's like, hold on. I don't think Dwight Howard's a fit. I don't think he's necessarily a fit as your focal point in this NBA. But the other thing I don't think Dwight Howard's a bad guy to the point you call him a cancer to a basketball team. I don't think that at all. Like, I think that's going, but whatever. Maybe it's too far, but that's where we at, I guess. There's never too far for the internet. When am I going to learn, right? That people, like, having a reasonable juxtaposition on something is not what the internet's about. Like, everyone has to go to the extreme, and everyone has to one up another person. Like, if you say that this is one way, another person has to either go the total opposite or say it's double that. It's double that wrong thing. And in the case of Dwight Howard, the terms like "we're stuck with him" came up, and you're right, he's stuck, and he's getting paid a lot of money. He even referenced it. I'm not even that guy that's always talking about people's money. Dwight referenced that. I'm not getting paid this money to not participate. Kind of are, dude. And for whatever it's worth, like, look, Andre Drummond signed a big deal with the Bucks, and what'd they do? They put him on the bench. Well, let me not mischaracterize it. He ended up coming off the bench for them as a big. And once he accepted it, he flourished a little bit. Now it's kind of dead money to have all that money on your bench, and it's not Lou Williams or it's not Aaron Gordon. It's not a 6-man type of guy, but it's just a guy who can't fit readily into the ball game, into regular action. So you got to try to find spots to put him in. You start seeing that out of Dwight Howard, it's gonna get real bad for him, real quick. Like, if he ends up being the backup to some center that can shoot the basketball, because that's what we're talking about, right? We're talking about Al Horford, a guy who can pass the ball and shoot the ball and allow the court to be spread so a guy like Isaiah Thomas can get his work on and get busy. He's not always there bringing more bodies to the paint than need to be there. You start seeing Dwight Howard coming off the bench. Like, they already let Kent Bazemore get away with it. He got his spot taken twice. Torian Prince and Tim Hardaway Jr. Let it happen to Dwight. It's gonna be like Armageddon around this piece. Let's take a break, and I want to come back, and I want to talk to you guys about this Charlie Strong situation. I wish I knew my guest was going to stand me up. I would have gotten to it a lot earlier instead of waiting until the very end of the show, because I think it's something, I got some sound for it as well, and I think it's something that you guys are going to want to hear if you haven't heard it. It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker accounts, and then follow my show, One Mic with Big Mike. Spreaker also has an app, so it's available in all of your app stores. I'm also live on the TuneIn app, and of course, One Mic with Big Mike.com, and on Facebook. I'm streaming live video right now, Facebook Live at One Mic with Big Mike. If you want to participate in the show, leave comments and questions below, or statements or whatever below the streaming video on Facebook, or text me at 404-902-8104. Or, of course, you can jump inside my live interactive chat room. Just click the little thought bubble icon you see on your streaming player. Also, make sure you click the heart as well, and the little share buttons. Let your people know what you're into tonight, man. Share me with all your friends and family and whomever you like, love, or hate. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hi, I'm Layla Ali. I might be undefeated in professional boxing, but there's one problem even I can't fight alone: childhood hunger. Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed every last hungry child. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids before it goes to waste. But they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by going to feedingamerica.org. Together we can knock out hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
To help solve hunger in your community and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
I'm going to shoot you. One more segment here on One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget the show is available on demand on Spreaker, the Spreaker app. Tune in, onemicwithbigmike.com. Also on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. So make sure you tell your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. You can hear the One Mic with Big Mike show anytime you want to on demand. In irony news, last week, at least 8 ISIS fighters had reportedly taken cover amongst dense reeds in Iraq's al-Rashad region, about 55 miles southwest of Kirkuk, in preparation for a surprise attack on local anti-ISIS tribesmen when a herd of wild boars attacked the jihadists on Sunday, killing 3 of them. The militants likely disturbed the notoriously short-tempered animals. It is likely their movement disturbed a herd of wild pigs, which inhabit the area, as well as the nearby cornfields. The area is dense with reeds, which are good for hiding in. What irony! Because like ISIS is they Muslim radicals, right? And they don't mess with the swine, the pork, right? Yeah, like, see, you gotta get that swine in you, dude, because you kill it, or it's gonna kill you. Well, I mean, it's gonna kill you anyway, but at least enjoy that sweet flavor of some bacon for your troubles. If you're gonna have congestive heart disease or whatever, at least it's for a good reason. These dudes just died being hateful and porkless. So anyway, Yesterday I was doing my reading or whatever, and I actually, before I was doing my reading, I saw it on Outside the Lines. They were talking about a situation that had gone down at the University of South Florida, their football program. And it's now headed up by former Texas head coach and former Louisville head coach Charlie Strong. A couple of kids got into some trouble. One got arrested for, I believe it was a sexual assault and kidnapping and false imprisonment. And another one had a road rage incident in which he got into it with some guy. Actually, I have it right here. I'm sorry. Ladarius Jackson was arrested on Monday evening and charged with sexual battery and false imprisonment of a fellow student on campus. Happened at an apartment. He allegedly wouldn't let the girl leave, forced her to have sex with him. She said she was too scared to leave because of his size. He's a big black dude, 6'4", 243 pounds. So he got arrested for that. Charges were filed against him for that. Charlie Strong dismissed him from the team. The other case, the situation with the road rage, apparently the report says this other kid named, Jesus Christ, what is his name? Hassan Childs apparently threatened a guy with a gun. The guy ended up shooting the kid a couple times, so he had to go to the hospital for his wounds, and they found marijuana on him. They found his gun and marijuana. They both had both guns in the situation were licensed. The one guy, his last name was Jimenez, who is the guy who shot the kid, but is looked upon as the victim. He had his wife and his kid with him doing some tailgating or something, and Buddy kept rolling up on him allegedly with his gun. And then finally his wife was like, "Babe, he got a gun." And then the next time he did it, my man just started busting off on him and caught him a couple times, and now he's in the hospital. So that's just setting the scene for what I'm about to play for you here. So one of the kids, the first guy, Jackson, I guess is his name, right? Yeah, Ladarius Jackson, he's in court getting his pretrial situation going on. And at that moment, this blonde-haired, blue-eyed judge decides she wants to go off on this.
Coach Strong, if you are listening, in the last couple of months, there have been 2 arrests of your players for very violent felonies. This court, and I'm sure I'm not alone, questions whether you have control over your players. It's fairly clear that you do not have control of them off the field, and I guess only time will tell whether you have control over them on the field. I would implore you to think long and hard about whether being head coach at USF is a good fit for you before any other members of this community have to suffer at the hands of one of your players.
All right. She is a USF alum. She's also recused herself from the case because of these statements. Here's the bigger issue, the bigger problem that it immediately stood out to me. The biggest problem in all of this is that the young man that she was referencing, he had been arrested. He hadn't been tried. This wasn't a part of his sentencing. Like, you know, sometimes these judges, they go off on these type of tangents when someone's been finally convicted. The jury's come back with a guilty plea, and the judge goes off and starts telling them the reason that I'm gonna sentence you for 1.5 million years for this nickel bag of weed. I can't say the real reason because you're black, but I'm gonna say this other stuff and sound like I'm real tough. The biggest problem with this is this kid hadn't been convicted of anything, and she's the judge that's speaking to this kid as though he's already been convicted, which points to a larger problem in and of a mindset. When we talk about America and people talk about fair trial and a fair and speedy trial by your peers, how now can that happen? Even though there's going to be a new judge, you think she don't know this judge and this judge don't know her? They don't go have coffee and tea or whatever and have drinks and all this kind of stuff? How am I to assume that they have different frames of mind? She's already convinced that this dude has terrorized this community down there in Tampa. And it don't make it any better that Charlie Strong had already dismissed the kid as well. You know, he don't get we don't wait for the legal process to play out. Someone says sexual abuse with the current climate, you gotta go. We don't want nothing to do with you. And that has nothing to do with the kid, by the way. We did our own investigation. What, better than the police? All right, cool. But he dismissed the kid from school because that's what you do now. You know, as soon as someone says someone did something, especially of that nature, you got to dismiss them immediately because then it looks bad on you. No one has the balls to stand up to anything like that. And just point to the fact that we're in America. And far be it for you to already turn this person into a criminal before he has his due process. Nah, that's happening already. So this judge and every bit of racism she could spew, the kind that doesn't include her being on the stand calling this boy the N-word, don't include none of that. The stuff that a lot of y'all love to worry about and love to raise hell about, that doesn't do with that. She just saying that right now, this black kid, I don't know what color the young lady was, but this black kid that's standing in front of my courtroom, he got on this orange jumpsuit, so he's already guilty. He already need to go to jail. And furthermore, the black man that's supposed to be that we white people put in charge to control these young Negroes, he can't do that either. By the way, Charlie Strong just got that job. I already mentioned he was the coach at Texas last year, which means he didn't recruit this kid. He doesn't know this kid. These kids are juniors and upperclassmen. Well, I'm not saying he don't know him. He probably knows him since he's been there. But for her to just like dump this on my man's lap and say it's very apparent you don't have any control over these kids. Like how you do that? Like where they do that at? Like how is that a thing that should be going? Like how is his lawyer not saying these charges need to be dismissed immediately? And then what happens at that point? If he did do something to that young lady, now she's the one who experiences the disservice. She doesn't get to get justice. If his lawyer is able to get the charges thrown out because of the bias of the previous judge, if this girl was sexually assaulted and nothing happens to this kid, this dude, she is the victim of racism. This white judge's racism caused her to be a victim without justice. Again, I don't know if it's a white girl that's bringing these charges. I don't know if it's a black girl, a Latino, or Asian. I don't know what the girl is. Of course, they have to keep her identity anonymous because of the nature of the crime or the alleged crime. Sorry, I just did it. But when I saw this, I was like, my man, like, in the world of Trump, man, these folks getting bold as hell. They don't give a damn no more. Like, this lady had she put her big boy drawers on and got up, put her robe on and said, you know what I'm going to do? Because it like she wrote it, too, because she was looking down at a piece of paper. She had a prepared statement of how she was just going to fry Charlie Strong's ass for being an inadequate head coach of her alma mater. Talking about how her USF degree isn't hanging on the wall any longer. And by the way, she's a judge because she was elected a judge. How is that even a thing? Like, what are the qualifications? Like, shouldn't you have to earn that position, like apply for it and be interviewed? And you shouldn't be able to run for that like some sort of skeevy-ass congressman or something. But it's America, right? This is what y'all and Jeb and Jimbo and them cats like to call the greatest country on earth. Sweet. Maybe it is, but it just depends on who the hell it is you're talking to. Let me make sure I clean the plate right quick because I think I'm done, man. I had time carved out to do a guest today, and that's really, God, man, I hate that happened, man. She would have been a fun guest, but whatever. It's not going to happen now. So, sorry, I'm just reading over one more thing to make sure I get everything off the plate. That's going to do it for the night. That's going to do it for the week. Appreciate everybody for joining me. My man Emmett Bean, Big L, Reg. I am No Dose, everybody on Facebook. Shout out to Danielle Dawson hanging out here on Facebook and everybody else. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Let me hit my outro music real quick. Don't forget, The One Mic with Big Mike show is here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live at 7 o'clock. But you can also, if you miss any of this show or any other show, you can catch it on demand on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com. Sign up, man, for your free Spreaker account and make sure you're following One Mic with Big Mike, the show, on Spreaker. Spreaker also has an app for those people who don't want to sit in front of a computer. You want to be able to take me on the go, your mobile devices, your cell phones, your tablets, and all those things. The TuneIn app as well, onemicwithbigmike.com. Make sure you check out the onemicwithbigmike.com website. Check out the video section, man. I post like funny videos and pertinent sports videos. Videos of some of the things I talk about that I play the sound for on the show. If you want to get a visual of them, you can go to the onemicwithbigmike.com website to the video section. Also, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube, all those places that you can subscribe to the podcast and share it with all your friends and family and so forth. Also, my Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, at One Mic with Big Mike. Follow me and like the page. And that's going to do it, man. You guys, if you're going to go out and enjoy this Mexican holiday, which I don't even know what it is. I don't know what Cinco de Mayo is for. Apparently, someone said it's not Mexican Independence Day. So, whatever it is, half of y'all don't know what it is, too. It's just going to be an excuse to get faded, especially since it's on a Friday this year. Y'all just be safe. If you get blitz, stay out of your cars. Call yourself an Uber or a taxi or something, man. Just, leave that as a non-option. Matter of fact, just take an Uber to the spot you're going to. That way you're forced to take an Uber or a taxi or whatever back so no one gets hurt and no one dies tonight because you decide to have a little bit or put a little bit in your system. All right, man. Y'all be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you guys on Monday right here. Same time, same place. And remember, all you need is one mic.